So this is the first casting at Reading Hexbase using the Flamefast Crucible that we bought a few months ago. Quick whiz around the furnace. Here you can see the flames on, burning hot and nicely. And you can see the on positions for the two gas switches. They should both be along the pipes. And this is just the initial loadout of aluminium ready for melting. This all went in cold. So as we begin casting, it's important to note a few things. The furnace itself is sat on a bed of sand, which is inside the blue sandbox, which Andy kindly built. The sandbox is stored under the stairs, underneath all the welding gear, so you have to dig it out before you start. The sand is stored in one of the bins. Now as we start to add material, you'll see that before it goes into the smelting furnace it's preheated. This is very important at the point before you get a pool of molten liquid, and even more important when you're using larger pieces inside the pool of molten liquid. You don't want freezing cold stuff going into very hot stuff. It's very bad. At all times when we're putting stuff in, we're always wearing gloves, and the furnace is attended at all times. There is someone watching it. So here you can just about see at the bottom of the shot that we're placing the ingot mould in place just before we're ready to start pouring. You want to do this before you start the process of skimming the dross and before you degas the molten aluminium. And here we're about to skim the dross. You can see that now we go into mega protective equipment mode. You've got aprons on, gloves on, and you should also be wearing one of the polycarbonate visors. Hopefully you will never ever need to find out why you might need these, but if you do, you'll be very pleased about it. When you're skimming, just use the skimming tool. Just literally lift the kind of layer of rubbish that forms on the top of the aluminium. When you start lifting out, you'll notice all the shininess underneath, and just drop it into the sandpit and just tap it away, and just do this until it's clear. It's at this point that we're ready to start degassing the molten aluminium. Before we degas it, we've figured out the best thing to do is to preheat the tool that you use to push the degassing tablets to the bottom. This helps stop the aluminium sticking to the tool quite so much when you lift it back out. So it kind of protects the tool a little bit and saves you some time and effort. So Now we actually start to add the degassing tablet. This is really a two-person job, so one person places the degassing tablet or bits of the degassing tablet into the melt, and the other person just pushes it down to the bottom. You want to push it down all the way to the bottom of the thing, and just lift the tool a little bit to let the gas out. You'll see it bubble like mad on top of the melt. And you want to keep doing this until it's effectively, just keep pushing the tablet back under the melt until it stops bubbling. As soon as it stops bubbling, you've probably got the majority of the gas back out of the melt, and you're good to go. The crud off the top just from the remains of the degassing tablet and anything that we may have added in using the tool to push it to the bottom.
Okay. Make sure this is on the thing when we pour it so that it looks cool when we stick it on the tubes.
We're now ready to pour the melt into the mould. The handle on the left hand side of the system is easy to use. You just gently lift the whole thing up until the aluminium starts to flow out the crucible and into the mould. It helps if your mould is level. Ours was not, and you just gently let it pour in. As soon as your mould is full, just lift let the crucible go back down, and then you can prepare for your next pour. With your last pour, just try and make sure that you get as much of the aluminium out of the crucible as you can. A very thin layer is fine to be left around the edge, but just give it a little scrape with the crud spoon, and you'll soon find what little bits are left over. This just means that the crucible kind of cools down relatively evenly and should help extend its life. And just to finish off, this is a cross-section of one of the ingots that we poured. This has just been whizzed through the lathe just to tidy the edges off, but as you can see there's no bubbles. It's all quite solid all the way through, so a pretty successful experiment. As with anything in the hackspace, once you're finished, just let the whole thing cool down. The crucible will take a long time to cool down, so just let it cool down until it's easy enough for two people to handle, then pop it out of the way with a sign on it warning people that it is hot and obviously not to touch it. Make sure you put the sand back in the bin and sweep up anything that you may have dropped on the floor. Any leftover aluminium in the pot should go into an ingot and then be put to one side once it's cooled down, ready for others to reuse that end piece of aluminium.